came kicking and screaming. He had told me that if I thought he was going to move to frickin' Louisiana, then I was out of my frickin' mind and had another frickin' thing coming. Well, that is the PC version, because he's a New Yorker. I've learned how to curse from my husband. Anyway, but after lots of tears and fights and threats, he went out to see his mom and dad in Rockaway. And his mother told him that if he couldn't imagine his life without me, then that was his answer. About a month later, we left to go to drive to Louisiana, and we had to make one final stop at the world-famous Carnegie Deli. Who's been to Carnegie Deli and had pastrami sandwiches? Oh my God.
Why would you be a chicken? I know you're scared because you would be chicken. I got that. It just got to me.
When I was a little boy, one of the things I loved doing is I made it a high priority to teach my little chickens how to crow before they were 6 weeks old. Because when I took my chickens to the fair, mine would really stand out because the rest of them would be standing there trying to grow feathers and mine would be crowing.
Uh-huh. That's a real story, Henry. You think you'd get an agriculture bill passed with that?
Actually, I'm more into pigs. You know.
Wait a minute, you're into pigs?
Yeah.
I don't believe I'd have told that. But go ahead, why?
Well, pigs are so smart. And in fact, they call them feral pigs or wild pigs, and they're really taking over and hurting all our farmers and stuff. And so we had a meeting in the legislature to make it legal to hunt them at night to try to eliminate the numbers. And I said, they're so smart right now, they're meeting to counter our plan.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah. Well, what you do, how you teach it, chickens, they don't always have all the cards in the deck, okay? But they're sweet. And one of the things I noticed is they like to mimic a role model, and I tried to be a role model. And so I learned how to walk. Like that, and then do the shoulder parts like that, and then do the neck part.
That's good.
And the first time a little rooster crows, he makes a terrible sound, and he thinks he let a fluffy go in church. Wait
a minute, he thinks he made a what?
Okay, well let me crow now. Okay, are you ready?
Sure, we're ready.
Okay.
Is that all you got?
Well,
I mean, really, can't you do a little bit better?
Well, I'm much older. See, my name is Henry. Snapping is your own choice, okay? Okay, you ready? Okay, we're going to go to 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Everybody got it?
Okay, you got the strawberry, you got the meat over here, and I got a steak. Now and a tomato. You got a chicken over here because he's scared. You're going to be a watermelon. Why?
Well, it's pink, it's sweet, you can make fabulous drinks out of it. Just add a little rum or vodka. Woo! And have you ever played the game of spit in the seed? See how far you can spit it? It's not Louisiana, remember?
I'm telling you. Here you go. Now watch your foot. Watch your foot. There you go. Peggy, come on up here. Come over here, girl. I'm telling you, you just don't get any better than this man because he is the master of cuisine, the master of the greatest marinated crab claws in the world. Ernest Palmisano Jr. Serving the finest, and Mr. Ernest, you truly have served the finest for years and years, and we love you.
Thank you all. Appreciate everything, and thank you, Mr. Tom, for emceeing this for us. And beautiful job. You know how we feel about you. Miss Peggy, God bless you.
Jay,
You know.
come on, get up here.
Come on, Jay. Come on down. It sounds like the Price is Right, for Pete's sake. Come on. Come over. Get next to Mr. Ernest over here. You get well. Okay, put the lady in the middle for Pete's sake. There you go. Don't worry about it, T. Marie.
I do want to share a wonderful story with y'all. And as I'm better known now, is I've lost the Tina Marie when me and Ernest married, and so now I'm Mrs. Ernest. Everybody goes, there's Mrs. Ernest, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. And I'm so proud to be Mrs. Ernest. So my story starts when we married, December the 23rd of 2007. And we had a beautiful wedding here. And so we're getting ready to take our little honeymoon in New Orleans. He says, where do you want to go, baby? And I'm like, let's go to New Orleans. That's the only place I ever want to go is New Orleans.
I believe in staying in shape. Round is a shape. Look it up in the dictionary.
Short is too.
I was telling someone earlier, I was in 11 states in 12 days over the last 2 weeks. And so when Tom called me and said, I need you to come by for a few minutes, he generally wants me to be on a radio show. So I told my wife, I said, I won't be more than about 10 minutes. We've been married 37 years, and she knew 10 minutes was going to be 3 or 4 hours. So, hey, Tom mentioned that he was originally from Arkansas. Is there anybody else here from Arkansas?
I am.
You are? Okay. You're going to be sorry you if you still got family in Arkansas, or any of y'all got friends in Arkansas? Sam. From Arkansas?
Check your shirt.
Do you have a degree from the University of Arkansas, baby?
Will, don't he? He didn't want to go.
University of Arkansas?
UALR.
If you bring your degree to the state of Louisiana and you put it on the dashboard of your car, you can park in a handicapped zone. My daddy couldn't cook. There's 3 of us boys, and my mama one time got sick when we were little. My daddy just emptied that freezer like you was talking about, but he couldn't do nothing with it. It was bad, and it was all in one pot. So mama took us boys and taught us how to cook. And as I grew up, I learned to cook from my grandmother and my mother, and I'm still learning even from my wife and my daughters that are excellent cooks. Well, I spent 28 years on the Shreveport Fire Department. When I worked downtown, there were 22 men that worked on each shift. And I was the cook for all those 22 men. So it was like running a little small restaurant 10 nights a month. But 22 men, if you wait long enough to feed them, and feed them large enough quantities, they'll eat anything. It was a cool fall day, and my wife cooked 15 bean soup at the house. Have any of y'all ever had that?
Yeah.
Grocery store got that little bag, got them beans in it, all that seeds, you put a bit of ham hock or something in there. 15 bean soup. Okay? So I decided I was going to treat the brothers there at the fire station to 15 bean soup. So I went to Kroger's up on North Market, and they didn't have no 15 bean soup. But they had 11 different kinds of dry beans in 1 pound package. So I did the math. 22 divided in half is 11. That's a half a pound a person. That's how we figured our steak or anything we cooked was a half pound a man, see? So I bought 11 different kinds of beans. Dry beans in 1 pound package. And I went back to the fire station, and we had a commercial kitchen there, so I dumped them 11 pounds of beans, and they was black and green and yellow and white and red. I mean, they was pretty. So I turned that faucet on, and I started running water, and all the little shells, and that dust is coming off of it, and I was proud of myself. I cleaned them beans up. My cat walked in, and he said, "What is that?" I said, "That's 11 bean soup." He said, "When are we going to eat that?" I said, "For supper." He said, tonight? I said, yeah. He said, you can't cook 11 pounds of dried beans tonight. It's 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the afternoon. I said, well, my wife did it. Well, I didn't know that she had soaked them beans overnight. So I got me a 5-gallon boiler. I was in Ohio one time at my wife's aunt's house, and I asked her where her boiler was. And she said, it's in the basement. And I said, why do you keep a boiler in the basement? She said, that's what we heat our house with. I said, oh, I'm looking for something to cook my beans in. So I put about 2.5 gallons of water, and I put 11 pounds of beans in a 5-gallon bucket. And I turned the BTUs on. And after about an hour and a half, when the water started to boil, they began to swell. So I got on the loudspeaker and I said, somebody come in the kitchen. I need some help pouring the beans into the other pot. So I got me another 5-gallon bucket. I poured them beans half and half. And they swelled some more. I wound up with 15 gallons of beans. 7:30. What time we gonna eat? Oh, about 10 minutes. 8:15. Man, what time we gonna eat? I said about 15 minutes. So finally about 9 o'clock I said, look boys, have you ever played tiddlywinks when you was a kid? You take that little thing and that tiddlywink and it flips over. I said, y'all go get your safety glasses and put them on, because we're fixing to eat them beans. They're probably going to be tiddlywinking all over. So, 22 men attempted to eat beans that was half cooked. Now that's funny, but the funny part was we had the bedroom upstairs was just about the size of this room right here, with no partitions, no walls, no curtains. And out of the 22 men, 17 of us slept in that one big old bedroom. I will not go into the noises that were being emitted. What'd you say, Henry? A fluffy in church? Well, we didn't get a call all night that night. At 7 o'clock in the morning, the alarm hits and the light comes on, and the alarm dispatcher says, time to get up. Boy, that light come on that morning, and I thought there was 15 pregnant men in that bedroom. They was slowed up to bed. So they made me take lemon bean soup off the menu. But however, it is still famous around the Shreveport.